bloody Twitter! Who told the journalist?
Welcome, everyone, to the Who Told the Journalist podcast. Welcome. I am Cuzzo, and I'm here with...
I am Santiago.
Of course. And, we're just chilling. This is the second episode of a weekly series.
Mm-hmm.
Don't forget to tune in every Thursday for a new episode every week.
Yes, sir.
It's gonna be fantastic.
With my fruit punch Gatorade. And
the worst. It's like the worst Gatorade.
Well, it's not the best, but it's not the worst either. I think that's
the best. The best has to be the orange.
Orange? Ugh.
Yes.
I used to like that when I was 12. But
the orange, hits so
different. It's clearly the blue, but
the blue is a close second. The blue is a close second.
Blue is a close first.
Quiet.
Orange can die.
It's quiet for that.
But will you ever get to find out our real names? Well,
maybe.
I guess what I would say is all of our audience are people who actually know us. So
right now,
yes.
right now everybody knows our names.
But if we ever get fans that don't know who we are, maybe name reveal. We've clearly got the face reveal in the picture. Name reveal at 10 subscribers.
Of course.
How was your week, man? What's going on?
It's been pretty alright, just started. Just woke up about like 3-4 hours ago. Got a little bit of schoolwork done. And now I'm here.
We're both in college.
Yes.
And,
yes.
We're doing things.
Doing college things.
Yeah. We have got a lot to talk about today.
Yes, sir. What should we start off with?
Well, I don't know. We didn't really plan this.
Well, we're gonna be talking about a few things. We're gonna rank the Star Wars movies. We're gonna review To Pimp a Butterfly by Kendrick Lamar.
Yeah. Greatest albums.
Oh, of course. Top 5, and it's not 5 through 4, 3, 2, 1. It's 0 because it's just that high.
Well, that means nothing.
Sure. What else we're gonna talk about? Oh,
Uncut Gems.
This Uncut Gems, yes, Uncut Gems review, and the Lakers Rockets series.
Yeah, we are at each other's throats.
It was heated. It was heated last night.
Very heated discussion last night about the Lakers game. So we will get to that.
We'll get to that when I'm ready for that conversation. When you're ready for that conversation.
When you're ready. I guess we could start off with Uncut Gems, maybe?
Yeah, we could.
Start off.
Why not? Haven't watched it in a minute. I probably should have watched it to prepare for this, but I've seen it multiple times now. So
yeah, so have I started rewatching it, didn't finish it. I know, I've seen it more than twice. So I know. This is a rather dated review. I mean, it's been out for a while. But
nothing's coming out. We did
Tenet. I mean, I know the new Mulan movie just came out.
Oh my god, I saw an ad for that during the Rockets game, but it got 2 seconds in and then it got cut off by a T-Mobile ad.
Oh wow! What?
I have no idea why, but that T-Mobile ad was cutting off everybody.
Oh my gosh, T-Mobile.
And who uses T-Mobile? I mean, I got Sprint, and I'm saying that.
I think Maggie uses T-Mobile.
Oh, L for Maggie. But when doesn't she take L's?
Yeah, well, look. Uncut Gems came out, last year, December or somewhere around there?
Yeah.
We saw it for the first time with a couple of friends.
Yeah. And it was a great experience, actually.
It was.
Being in the theater just made that movie feel so much different.
I think all of us basically loved it after we saw it.
It was amazing.
Really opinion. Yeah. Adam Sandler, man, he
just killed it. He killed it. And he hasn't had a lot of good movies in recent years, so I'm glad to see that he picked it up.
Well, you can see when you give. He's a good actor. If
Oh
you,
yeah.
if you give a good actor a good role and good writing, um, they can do well, and he can do well. He has a couple of movies where he
Mhm.
does these serious roles, like every 10 years. He goes on like this weird hiatus where he does all these Billy Madison, or Happy
Happy
Madison.
Madison-esque
Yeah.
movies.
And you know, some of them are good. You know, Happy Gilmore, that's a classic.
Oh yeah.
And like we love Adam Sandler,
Yeah,
but
Adam Sandler he's a
he's
goat,
great.
a young goat.
He's great. But you know, yeah. Another movie that he sort of did this with is Punch Drunk Love with Paul Thomas Anderson directing,
I never
and
saw
he
that.
has the Safdie brothers directing Uncut Gems, and they did a great job. And
Yes.
the music is really great.
The
The
music was
score
fantastic,
is
honestly.
incredible. Um, and it's pretty much it builds anxiety. It is a movie
Yes.
that builds anxiety throughout the whole.
The whole movie had me feeling anxious. It's just
Yes,
like the sounds, the intensity of what's going on. Just
yes.
everything is just wild.
It's nonstop noise,
Yes.
and it sort of keeps building on this intensity, and then there's sort of like this release towards the end. I don't know if
Yes.
we're gonna spoil it, but
We
I mean,
we
it's been
can.
out,
We can. If you haven't seen Uncut Gems at this point, you ought to stop this right now and go watch it. I think it's on
and yeah,
Netflix, right?
that is a better alternative to listening to this
Yeah.
podcast. Go watch Uncut Gems.
You can pause this, go watch it, and then
Come
get
back,
our
and then-
thoughts.
Yeah.
And then listen to the rest of the podcast. Because this is going to be a while.
Uncut Gems is, and the thing is, so there's two directors, and we watched. They did another movie called Good Time with Robert Pattinson that was really good too.
It
And
was great.
they are very versatile. So
Yeah.
one of them like helped write it, and both of them obviously directed it. One of them helps with the music, and another one of them starred alongside Robert Pattinson in Good Time.
Right.
And it's very much like that. Obviously, neither of them are in this, but you can tell this is really a clear vision of what they wanted. It all feels like everything really comes together.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, Lakeith Stanfield's pretty great in this.
Honestly, I love Lakeith. Period. He's just a young goat.
He really is. And I actually saw something. He put something on Instagram, and people thought he was suicidal or something. And
yeah. Didn't that dude call him crazy actor?
Yeah, like who the hell is
on some
that?
dumb stuff, man. Like, come on.
Yeah.
Bro.
Well, we saw a trailer for a movie that he's gonna be in.
Oh yeah, what was that called again? Dune?
No, I don't remember. But Daniel Kaluuya from Get Out is in it as well, and it looks really good.
Oh,
I'm excited for it.
remember
I don't
the
remember the title.
I don't know why I said Dune.
Yeah.
But continuing on this Uncut Gems, give it a little brief summary of the movie. Starts off with these miners in Africa, I believe, finding an opal. What was it called again specifically?
I do not remember.
It's some type of opal, and it's really beautiful. And this guy Adam Sandler, he plays a character named Howie, or Howard, and he buys this opal, and he buys it for whatever goddamn reason. I don't know why, but he didn't look like he wanted to sell it, because he had Kevin Garnett come up into his fucking KG. Yes, sir. Don't you got a game tonight? And KG came to his store. He's a jeweler, and KG seen this opal, and he bonded with it. He was like, "This has to be mine." You know, love at first sight. And he borrowed the opal and let Howie borrow his fucking finals ring, right? Mm-hmm. Yes. Mm-hmm. And Howie is just not really good, you know. He's not that good of a person. He's not
necessarily a good person.
The whole premise of this movie is he owes his cousin Arno a large sum of money, and there
digging himself.
There are consistent points in the movie where he can easily pay him back, and yet he doesn't.
And there are so many moments in this movie where, you know, he'll do something and you're just like, Oh my god,
Yes,
dude.
oh my god, the moment when he finally decided to sell the opal to get the money for Arno.
Buys it, and he just buys it himself.
Kevin Garnett buys it. No, I'm talking about after that. After that whole
when he
bidding
KG.
sequence. When KG actually goes into his office and buys the opal straight up for, how much was it? Like 150,000?
Something like that, yeah.
Something big.
It was supposed to be $1 million, and it got valued at like 150,000.
Right. That must have been a punch in the gut. But and he instead takes the money, instead of giving it to Arno, he passes it to his side piece through the window as Arno is coming up into his house to collect the money. He passes it to his side piece and tells her to go to Vegas and bet on the Celtics game. Now, Kevin Garnett has the opal. He was going off. He was going off when he had the opal when he first borrowed it. And then they took it away, and he took a shit. And he got it back.
Just like Russell Westbrook took that.
Little spoiler. The Celtics win the game. And all the bets that he put on, all the bets that he put on were right. And they won hella money. And he's got Arno and his boyfriends chilling in the
boyfriend squad.
Yeah, the boyfriend squad chilling in the like the, you know how some places have that like extra room that you got to go into, usually jewelers.
They're stuck in there. The door is locked.
The door's locked. They can't get it open, and they can't leave because that door's locked too. So they're stuck in there. And after the game, Howie finally decides to let them out and tries to celebrate with them. And boom, you're hit with silence as this motherfucker pulls out a gun and shoots Howie right in the eye. That bullet went straight through his eye.
It's that scene, just your heart just falls because it's just so like he's gone like that, and you don't really have time to process it. It just happens, and that's
it's such an abrupt moment.
Yeah,
in the movie.
Yeah, and you know the Safdie brothers just sort of just take your heart out of your chest with that, and he's just sort of he dies, and that's sort of the end. And I mean, it's such a great. It's so every time I've watched it, that scene has the same impact on me.
Oh yeah,
and which I think is a sign of just a really great movie.
It never goes away. The fact that it just hits you at the end there. Yeah. Like even though you know it's coming, it still just hits different.
Yeah,
you're like maybe every time I watch it, I find myself like, maybe they'll just all celebrate, have a good time, go have some drinks, and get rich. And then nope, he still shoots him in the face every time.
yeah. Hopefully, But yeah, that whole explanation that you gave was very well thought out. So I'm gonna thank you for that.
Uncut Gems 2. Howie comes back, steals his dad's money.
That is how franchises are ruined.
Yes. But it will be better than the first one.
Yep, that's what executives say to each other when they think that they can milk a franchise. Yeah. So. You know what? Honestly, when we rated Tenet, it felt weird. I feel like we should be different. We should be different. Maybe we just don't need to rate things. We just give them our thoughts, and they take it for what it is.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like everybody rates movies and stuff, or even albums. They rate them. It's like, why don't you just put out your thoughts and let other motherfuckers think for themselves? Exactly. Because I feel like too often people just listen to the person who's rating it, and then they take that as their own thoughts.
Yes, much like Anthony Fantano.
Anthony Fantano, yeah. I know you be doing that.
I don't. I used to.
Yeah.
I don't. I don't even really watch him that much anymore. Although I do think he brings up good points about music.
He does.
Yeah, lots of people do that though. They'll just listen to like a movie reviewer, a music reviewer.
It said like, oh, this guy said this, so it must be 100% fact and my feelings as well.
And what are you listening to a podcast for if if you aren't listening to their opinions, you're just listening. You're waiting for a rating. I mean,
right. I mean, I
you're
feel like
listening to
that's.
us talk for a reason.
I found myself doing that with Anthony Fantano, as I would just skip through the video to look for the rating just to see how he felt about it.
How you felt about it? Yeah, exactly.
And I'm just like, you're wrong or you're right.
Yeah, I
most
mean,
of the time
really,
he's wrong.
Yeah. So yeah, look, highly recommend Uncut Gems.
Oh, of course.
I personally like Good Time a little more. But
they're both very good movies. Go watch that movie too. Go watch Good Time.
Yeah. Once at some point, probably not this episode, but at some point I would like to talk about how great of a year it was last year for film. Because there were so many movies that came out last year, and I'm still catching up with some of the movies that came out last year. A
lot of the movies were just so amazing.
You know, Parasite, Jojo Rabbit, Portrait of a Lady on Fire.
Did Lighthouse drop last year?
The Lighthouse was last year as well.
It was. You're fond of me, Lobster.
Yeah, you're fond of me, Lobster. We'll have to. Maybe we can review that at some point too.
We might have to. I might have to watch it again.
Yeah, I think
that movie's really crazy as well.
Yeah, it's insane.
Shout out A24.
Shout out A24. We like our A24. So yeah, Uncut Gems. Uncut Gems is A24 too.
It is.
Yes. So
yeah, fantastic.
We're definitely
fans of A24.
Yes, and A24. Well, any other thoughts?
I think I've got out everything I need to say about the matter. Yeah. If you don't have anything else, we can move on.
I don't have anything else. I think we.
All right. What do we want to do next? We got Star Wars, To Pimp a Butterfly.
I'm sorry.
NBA.
Can we just get
NBA? Let's get it over with.
Yeah, I'm ready.
You know. Game 1, the Lakers threw.
Yeah, of course you want to start with game 1.
Of course, we have to start at game 1 and then move our way to game 2. You know,
okay.
wouldn't you rather getting your?
Let me just hear your thoughts, and then I will chime in when I do.
My thoughts. Game 1, I think we looked very good, but the Lakers also looked very bad. So I think either way, with how we were playing and how they were playing, we were gonna win. They barely kept. The only lead they had in that first game was the first 7 points they got. It was 7-0, and then after that we took it and ran. And I do feel like AD was he was eating up. He was eating up Harden because for whatever goddamn reason, Mike D'Antoni feels that James Harden can guard Anthony Davis, even though there's like a foot height difference. But you know,
what about game 2?
Game 2, Russ just threw. He could not hit a 3-pointer for his life, and we continuously left Morris open and Rondo open, and they just scored and scored and scored, and we could not get anyone on Anthony Davis. Anthony Davis ate up. He had 34 points or something.
Something like that.
I'm just very dissatisfied with the Rockets' performance last night. I just cannot be bothered to watch a game like that happen ever again. We need to get smart. Now,
it's
your thoughts.
My turn.
He said, "It's my turn."
Look. The Lakers in game 1 were not there to win that game. They were there to get a feel for the Rockets and maybe win along the way. They didn't, and the Rockets won. So, look, that game was sort of a feel-out, test the waters game, I think. Game 2, I was not able to watch game 2 in full, but I got Roger, the NBA guru, to tell me everything, and then I watched the highlights. So
the Rockets couldn't keep a lead for their life in game 2.
Well, look, this is what I think. It sounds like to me the Lakers are going to have this under control because I think especially if Russ keeps playing like this, he keeps disappointing in the playoffs because
he's disappointing me, and that's worse than anything.
Last against the Thunder, he just threw out a game against the Lakers. So, and Roger told me every time he went up to take a 3, the Lakers just stepped back.
Oh yeah, no, they didn't even bother to guard him because they knew he was gonna miss with his goofy self.
Yeah. And look, this is what happens when you have two ball hawks on one team. Harden and Westbrook together. I don't see that working.
They have been working decent together. They just
Well, how are they looking now?
Harden didn't do too bad last night. He kind of woke up in the second half and ate up. PJ Tucker looked great. He looked great last game. He was doing good.
I'm not getting on Harden. Usually I do.
Yeah,
but I'm getting on Westbrook right now.
Westbrook is the problem right now.
The Rockets are not going to have a chance, I think.
No, he needs to learn his place. He is not a three-point shooter. He can hit threes sometimes, but that is Harden's job. That is Eric Gordon's job. That is Rocco's job. Russ needs to play hard like he did in OKC all those years ago. All those years meaning like 2, 3, 4.
No. He's playing hard. He's not
getting it. He needs to get in the paint, get up in there, and score. He is trying to shoot too many threes. He's trying to play like he's Steph or something, or he's trying to play like he's Harden, and he's not. He needs to be taking more mid-range, more paint shots. That's who he is.
Look, when he is juiced up and just not. I mean, he can be an unstoppable.
He can wake up.
But look, man, I don't have a whole lot of trust in him. I don't have a whole lot of trust in the Rockets, and I think the Lakers are going to win this. I really do.
If they win, it will not be in 5, like a bunch of people are saying. It is quiet.
All I'm saying is I don't see the Rockets taking this, but I do think that it will go longer than 5. I do. I think the Rockets will take another game. I'm not sure when.
Of course, me being a Rockets fan, I do believe we will carry out this series in the 7th game.
But you brought out an interesting point that me and Roger very much shot down. It is the fact that if LeBron, the whole LeBron thing, you said that after LeBron left Cleveland, the fans hated him. And when he came back and won a chip, the fans loved him again. What exactly about that is so hard for you to understand?
No, what's hard for me to understand is even before he won the chip, when he was on his way back to Cleveland, after shunning him for how many years was he in the Heat?
Like
two. I want to say 2, 3.
It was 3 or 4 years.
They hated him for that entire time, and then he makes the decision to come back to Cleveland, and then everybody's just gonna act like he's a god after
he made a promise to win a championship for them.
It's like,
and he's like our baby. He came from Akron, so
it's like if your mom leaves you when you're 6 and comes back when you're 20 and is like, "Hey, I'm here now." Like, are you gonna?
Not at all.
That is how it is. LeBron is their father. LeBron is Cleveland's only good asset in the past 10 years. Kyrie, yeah, but he's been playing like some mid this year.
Well, yeah, I mean he's been injured, and I don't really like him that much anymore. I loved him when he was in Cleveland.
Honestly, I believe he just didn't want to play.
No,
he didn't. I don't think his injury really kept him out that long.
No, I feel like a lot of players do that now.
Yeah. Steph Curry, for one.
They sort of just save themselves for the playoffs, and
ain't no playoffs for Kyrie.
No,
the Nets in the playoffs without the Nets would not make it to the playoffs without Kyrie. Even with Kyrie, they didn't.
KD's coming back next year.
KD, I'm interested to see that. KD on the Nets.
Well, here's the thing: the NBA is doing this thing where it's like, there's no real super team. I guess the Lakers are kind of, but not really, because each team has like 2 superstars
and then some nice backup.
Yeah, and that's what I want the NBA to be. I want it to be competitive and not just one team taking it every year. I think it is more competitive, which is exciting.
I think something that the Rockets did very wrong was dropping Clint Capella. How are you gonna drop your best big man? Like we're playing like it's like I don't even know, man. Why did we drop our big men? We have PJ Tucker playing center. How tall is he? The tallest player on the team is 6'8". How are you going to contest Anthony Davis?
Look, I think Anthony Davis would still be eating up. He just needs to be more consistent because he's a great force.
I think Anthony Davis plays better when he's not playing center.
He is the key to the Lakers. If he is consistent and can just go off.
When they got JaVale on the court playing center, AD shines because he doesn't have to play that. JaVale McGee
has been a great asset, a great asset for me on 2K. This man,
he said on 2K,
so many points against you.
I think JaVale is there for the clown fest right now.
What does that even mean?
This man has done nothing but clown around on the bench the entire game. Most of the highlights I see are of this man acting a fool. This man jumped over the barricade, screaming, "King! King!" He was crawling on the floor. JaVale, bro.
Man, we need like a hype man for
us.
He
is the hype man. He is the hype man.
When we're like doing really well on a podcast, someone needs to get on and just yell "King,
King, King." But yeah, otherwise, I think this will go to a game 7, and I do truly believe the Rockets can wake up. If the Rockets can wake up, they can beat this team. They did not play like they should have been last night. Especially not even they. Russ. If Russ can put up numbers and do good, we can win. Because we brought it back. We brought it back quite a bit last night. But we gave up the lead again when Russ started throwing again.
Are we in agreement that whoever wins this series wins the chip?
Yes. Definitely. Okay. I think these are the only two real competitors.
I mean, this might as well be the finals.
They're the best. They're the best two teams in the NBA finals right now.
Playoffs, yeah. Because the Clippers have been a disappointment. The Nuggets, they're not gonna pass this man round.
Skip really said, if the Rockets take this series, Clippers advantage. I'm like, who?
Yeah. I honestly see the Rockets winning because if the Clippers can't handle the Nuggets, how are they gonna handle the Rockets or the Lakers? They won't.
And no one in the East is comparing.
Look, I like the Heat. I think the Heat are gonna win. The East, I really do like them, and I think they will put up a fight, but they will not win. They just don't have enough to win right now. If Embiid goes to Miami next year, they will be
over. It's quiet.
They might. I'm really liking Miami. So
Jimmy Butler, Yoel.
Yeah, I mean, I really like the Heat. And I think they will win against the Celtics. Unless somehow, some way, the Bucks come back in the series. They won, but I think that was just sort of. I think Miami just gave it up. They're gonna win this series.
They have 3 games to play with.
Yeah, so
I don't think they're stressing.
So yeah, I'm excited to see what I'm happy that the Rockets and Lakers are playing because that is a great matchup.
Right.
So look, we'll see, man. But I'm feeling real good about this right now. I'm glad that we did the podcast after the second.
Yeah.
Because if we did it after the first, I knew I'd just be getting shit from you, and now I actually have something to work with. So this is perfect.
All right. Well, unless you have anything else to say about that,
to say about the NBA.
I think we can move on.
Perfect.
We'll see what happens, but what we have on our agenda next, we can do TPAB or rank the Star Wars movies.
I think we should rank Star Wars, then finish it off with a little bit of TPAB appreciation, and then we can do our recommendations, anything else we want to talk about.
Of course. And then close it up.
So, look, the people do not know, because this is our second podcast, that we love Star Wars. We're very passionate about it. We've had so many talks about
these
Star
movies.
Wars.
These movies were my childhood. They were my childhood.
They were, of course.
Not the new ones. Not the new ones. I am a big advocate for the prequels.
I am not
They're
so
pretty
much, but I have a new appreciation for them after this new trilogy.
Yeah.
I really do.
I feel like this new one was just so bad it made everyone appreciate the original 6 much better.
I enjoy certain aspects of this new trilogy, but as a whole trilogy, I do not really enjoy it as much.
Starting off at number 9.
Well, let's read off all the movies.
Read off, yeah. That works.
Because we're including Rogue One and
Are we?
Solo. I would like
Solo.
to.
I've never seen Solo, but you can rank that one.
We can
somewhere.
both put that at the bottom.
I was gonna say I would put that at the bottom from what I've heard.
It's fun. Actually, I'd put it over 9. I'd put it over 9.
I mean, I haven't even seen the movie, so I don't know. 9 was really bad, so I could believe that.
What I will say is let's include Rogue One.
Yeah.
Because I would like to include Rogue One. Maybe we can touch on The Mandalorian a little later on.
Mandalorian, yeah.
Yeah, so look, you want to start off, so we're obviously including everything in the
All right, so yeah, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, then Rogue One and Solo. Is there any other movies? I don't think so.
For some reason my mind was saying yes, but
I feel like there's another one that I'm forgetting.
No, I don't think so. I think we've got all of them.
Yeah, we have all of them.
But obviously that'll change in the future. But yeah, I mean,
definitely.
So what is the Star Wars movie you hate?
That I hate the most? Definitely 9. That was an abomination of a movie.
Yeah.
From a critical standpoint and fans standpoint, yeah. It's just not good.
And I think this movie was sort of it was sort of leaning more towards the fan side of things.
Oh yeah, it was definitely.
It brought back Palpatine. It did a bunch of fan service, but it failed.
Yeah, it had a lot of fan service for no reason, to be honest.
And it tried to make up for the movie that preceded it, and it just made this movie look petty, and it did not help this movie at all. I don't think.
Yeah, I think the one thing that was the biggest downfall of this movie was how many times that it was so evident that J.J. Abrams
hates Rian Johnson.
Yeah, and how he was trying to undo 8. I'm like,
yeah, I mean,
I'm sitting here looking at this. I'm like, it's Twitter beef in the cinema. Like, come on.
There are really moments in this movie where it's pretty much where JJ's like, hey, remember that thing from episode 8 that people hated? Well, that's not happening. I just want to make sure you guys know that.
I hope y'all know that I do not like 8, and I'm changing it. Like,
and I mean, I have respect for 8 because 8 is original and it's a new idea.
It tried to be different.
9 is a mess. It is
a big mess.
There are things I enjoy about 9. There really are. Adam Driver's great. Adam Driver's the best part of this.
He's great in anything that he is in. He's just a great actor.
But in 9, there are moments where I'm like, well, that's pretty awesome. I'm glad I got a couple of moments in here that sort of. But like, there are so many things. Like, here's the old Death Star. Here is a flashback, a really weird flashback to Luke and Leia. Where do you remember that when they're like young and their faces are all CGI?
Oh yeah, I completely forgot about that.
That's so weird. Why'd you put that in there? Mark Hamill looks like he's phoning it in. Everyone sort of looks like they're phoning it in this last movie.
Definitely.
And why wouldn't they? Because it feels like it just doesn't really matter.
Yeah,
and it's the last movie in this saga. So
they were supposed to close out an entire 9-movie saga with this movie, and he just did not do a good job. J.J. Abrams.
And look, I like J.J. I do enjoy.
He's pretty good.
But he did not do Star Wars justice, and I mean, in a way, I guess it's hard to follow up 8 when you have a different vision. I mean, because 8 is so polarizing, it undoes a lot of things and it brings in all these new ideas, and it's like, where do you exactly go from there?
I feel like there's something you can do. Like, you can be creative enough to continue off of something so original like that. I mean, even like working with the director for 8.
Exactly.
Instead of taking shots at him in your new movie, work with him and see if like you can transfer some of those ideas into the new movie and possibly make it make sense, you know?
Oh, hi Rose, bye Rose.
Right, that was redonkulous.
Stuff like that is just, it's not really.
If I got good at editing, I would add a redonkulous meter for that one. That shit was top tier.
Like, we could go on about 9 for hours.
Yeah, I think we got to move on for time's sake.
9 is.
So 9 is at the bottom.
I'd put it at the bottom. But I will say the next one for me is episode 2.
Episode 2, you're not putting Solo.
Well, I guess. Well,
do we want to include Solo?
We don't really have to.
I feel like it's not really that important of a movie.
It's a fun movie, but it wasn't really enjoyable to me because I love the Han Solo character, and I just didn't think it was necessary.
Yeah, what was good about him is he was so like mysterious. You didn't know where he came from, and then they make an origin movie.
They just throw his origin at him. They're like, "Here's your gun, here's your name," and they don't make anything cool about it. I love Donald Glover. They got him to play young Lando, and I heard they're gonna make a TV series for him, which that would be exciting. But
more
he didn't have much
Gambino?
to do in it, so a little disappointing. But yeah, we can move on. Solo isn't really.
All right. Would I put 2 down there?
I would. I'm not very big on 2. Except
2
for
had some good in it. I feel like it wasn't. Aside from Hayden Christensen's delivery in that movie, I feel like it was decent.
Look, the dialogue is atrocious.
Yes.
Between Hayden Christensen and Natalie Portman, Padme. It is really bad. Everyone knows that I hate sand. We all know that.
I hate sand.
They try to do the Han. They try to do the Han and Leia thing, and it doesn't work because you just don't buy their relationship that much.
Right. Well, I mean, first off, in the first movie, he was like 10 years younger than her.
Yeah, and she looks exactly the same in the first movie.
Right, and he just glows up.
Weird. He's creepy in this, man. Like, he's creepy.
High key.
I don't know how she fell for him. Like, I have
no idea.
But look, I love Ewan McGregor. If there's any saving grace in episode 2, it's probably him.
Ewan McGregor's just a king.
The lightsabers look really big compared to like.
But the fights were nice.
In the prequels, the fights are well done, but I guess for me in episode 2, the lightsaber fights are really not that memorable for me.
I like the flippy spinny Yoda. I'll say it.
I don't.
I think he's dope.
I don't really.
I can imagine how it takes away from his original trilogy character, but this is a younger. This is a younger Yoda. He's not that much younger, but he's in the middle of a war in this movie. He's not really part of the Civil War in the original trilogy, but in this movie he is General fucking Yoda, man. Look, he is in there to fight.
I don't love it, but his character is just, it's the least of my concerns in this trilogy because I have lots of problems. But
look, CGI Yoda in 3 did not look that bad.
I
think fine. They did him good in 3. I don't know about 2, but in 3 they did him good.
Well, look, 3 is the best out of the prequels.
Oh, 3 is the best out of all the movies. Period.
Okay.
We'll get into this. We'll get into this later. Okay. Bottom. I'd have to put 8 next to 9. Honestly, actually, I'll put 8 at second to last. At 8. 8 goes in 8.
So you're putting it over 2?
No, I'm putting 8 over 9. And I'll put...
Oh, so you're putting 2 over 8.
I put 2 over 8.
I can't.
It's just not that memorable to me. It's not like I wouldn't go back to watch it.
Episode 8.
Episode 2, I feel like I can go back and watch it, even if it's just for the laughs and for the fun.
To me, episode 8 is a great movie on its own, but it is not a great Star Wars movie. There are ideas presented in this movie that I don't necessarily agree with, but it looks great and it is well acted. And look, it brings something new to Star Wars that I appreciate. Yeah. Like, I appreciate 8 for what it is. And I think it's just a better movie than episode 2.
I can appreciate it for that, but we are ranking these as Star Wars movies.
I understand that. And look, 8's not going to be super high for me either. But what I will say is I think it is better than episode 2 and also episode 1.
Don't even lie, man. Don't even lie.
Look, nothing's really going to touch this original trilogy.
Episode 1 is not that bad.
Well, it's great that you mentioned episode 1 because that is next on my list. For me, right now, it is 9, 2, and then 1. So episode 1 is, look, the only thing I really care about in episode 1 is the amazing lightsaber battle at the end.
Well, yeah, but Jar Jar?
Right.
Oh my god, top 1 character.
Look, you have this weird...
Jar Jar is fun, dude.
You have this really weird asphyxiation with Jar Jar that I do not understand.
He is a goat!
We are all open to our own opinions, I guess, but I don't really care about him that much. There's a reason he took a back seat for the rest of the trilogy, I think.
No, he became a senator. So, I don't know about back seat. He took the front seat. He took the front seat.
Oh my gosh. I will never.
He took the front seat in the back car.
Okay, look. I don't like Jar Jar. I don't. Episode 1 is a lot of... Look, this is what I don't like about the prequels. It's a lot of senator meetings and boring politics that you don't necessarily care about. And the lightsaber battles...
politics are important to the war. That's what war is.
But they could have done it in a more interesting way to intrigue you more. Do it like Game of Thrones. Game of Thrones handles politics great because it gets you intrigued in what's actually happening. In politics, it's like, well, the senators are doing this, and it's very formal. It's very like, this is what's happening right now, and you don't really feel entangled or intrigued by it. It's just sort of thrown at you in a way that you're just getting information. And what I think is they could have handled that better. Those things are boring to me in Star Wars.
I do wish we could have seen more of the action in the war rather than just hearing about it.
Well, I would have loved them to show the Clone Wars in the prequels, but they don't really do that. Because
they introduced them at the end of 2, and then, in 3, you know what happens. Yeah.
So, look, I'm going to put 1 after 2. I know you already have 8 down there.
I have 8 at 8, and then 2 at 7.
Right. Well, what is next for you?
Next has probably gotta be 1. Yeah. See? I can't really put it above anything else.
Well, I know exactly.
I think I think the final, 5 movies are just kind of untouchable.
Yeah, these 5 movies are great. I would say there's
top 5.
There's legitimate enjoyment I get out of those movies. I'm gonna put 8 after 1. Mm-hmm. So I'm not gonna put it over.
So basically, the only difference between ours is 8 and 2 are. Or no, you put 8 above 1 and 2, didn't you?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because I endure things I respect about 8 that I don't get from the prequels as a movie.
Modern tragedy.
But look, I don't love it. It's not a movie that I usually go back to and watch a lot. So, But I'm gonna put it over 1 and 2 because I think that's the placement it deserves. But
right.
Now that this is sort of where it gets interesting.
Now that we're in the top 5,
our lists are gonna sort of break off a little bit. I think
they might fluctuate. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
At 5, I'm going to put 4.
Yeah, can't do that. Can't do that.
I'm going to put 4, and here's why. I think 4, despite it was supposed to be its own movie back in the day when it dropped, I don't feel like it's its own movie. I think it feels like it's supposed to be like a beginning.
Whole storyline before all of that, but they didn't know if they were going to be able to continue it.
Yeah, well, so that's the thing. On
that being its own movie, but it was still set out to continue on. You know?
Well, yeah, but I feel like it felt too much like, I don't know. I feel like it was just pretty uneventful to me.
Oh man, I don't think so.
Look, I know a lot of things happened, but it's just like, you know, there's not a whole lot of fighting, not a whole lot of dueling. It's just a whole lot of prep.
Look, 4 gets a lot of heat for being dated, and
it is quite dated.
The thing everyone focuses on is that Obi-Wan and Vader lightsaber battle. And look,
it was mid.
70s.
It was mid.
Yeah, of course it is. It's the 70s. I mean, they didn't have the technology to choreograph.
Yeah, you can look at it. But like, then we also have these other Star Wars movies that look great, and they came out after. And I think it was an idea that was meant to be made later.
It evolved. Yeah, the everything evolved from 4. And I appreciate 4 so much because without it, I mean, we don't have Star Wars.
I do appreciate it. I do appreciate it.
And look, 4 is still, I quite enjoy watching 4. I revisit it every once in a while. I love Han Solo in it. I think he's great in it.
I just feel like the other movies are so much more interesting. Luke is such a bitch.
I know. Go to Tosche Station to pick up some power converters. That Luke is not my favorite by any stretch. But look, it's a fun space adventure when they go into the Death Star and sort of infiltrate it. I think that's really fun. It is
cool. It is fun, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I enjoy the hell out of 4, so I'm not going to put it that low. I won't.
Well, what will you put at number 5?
At number 5, it does get difficult here.
I feel for you, it's either got to be 3 or Rogue One. Because you're going to put the original trilogy in top 3.
Oh, yeah. You already know. And yeah, it's sort of difficult for me because I do really like Rogue One. And I think I'm going to put Rogue One at 5. Because I do enjoy 3. I do. But it's not going to be able to cut above any of the original trilogy for me. But I think, look, well, you want to talk about Rogue One because Rogue One...
Yeah, I can talk about Rogue One. That's going to be my next one on the list.
Okay, well, perfect.
And number 4.
Rogue One is...
I think it's a very good movie.
Look, Rogue One, the directors... The first director got fired, and it had some reshoots and some trouble filming, but you really couldn't tell. Like
right, it felt continuous. Like you can tell, Justice League was refilmed and made on the rush.
If something like that happens to a film, the people working at Rogue One did it perfectly because look, I love. We get a little bit of Vader in it. We get a little taste, and I love.
And it's sexy. Really it is fun. Sexy.
He looks great, which is why I would love a Darth Vader solo movie.
Yeah, that would be great.
So many cool things with him now that you have the technology to make him as badass as possible.
Right, it'd be dope.
But look, one thing Rogue One gets is you don't really care about the characters because they die at the end, and there's a lot of them, and it's hard to keep track.
I think that's what makes them, though.
Yeah, I don't think you're supposed to exactly be super attached. Then this is a one-off. This is
right. They were meant. This was a suicide mission.
And I think that the idea of this being a suicide mission, I think that grows on their characters, and I think that makes it. I mean,
for me, it pulled me into their characters. You know.
exactly,
Like
and I do enjoy their performances.
this group of
And,
renegades.
yeah, it's a really fun action movie.
Yeah.
And I also really enjoy the director Krennic. That guy did a great job
Oh
as
yeah.
one of those officers.
He was
It
some
looks like
dope.
they just snatched him right out of the original trilogy. He seems
Right.
like just
He fits so well.
So yeah, I mean, the action, the space battles in this movie are
The
great.
visuals look fairly well.
They look awesome.
The only
Yeah.
things I did not appreciate were the Grand Moff Tarkin and Princess Leia
He looks
CGIs.
Yeah,
They
those
looked
were
straight out of some Battlefront 2.
just get a stand-in.
Right.
You don't need to spend all this extra money. We don't need that. You know,
Yeah.
we
Find someone that looks
just get
like him.
someone else to play them. Just
Right.
get someone else who looks kind of like them. And
I mean, he didn't have to be as old. I mean, it was. Well,
Yeah.
he did have to be as old because it wasn't his like right before 4.
Mm-hmm.
Like dead ass moments.
Yes. And look, Grand Moff Tarkin, he looks pretty rough.
Yeah.
Looking back, he does not look very good.
The CGI is just not as great. And I can understand we don't have the technology to be doing that, like making exact copies of people look in real life.
And who knows if we ever will.
Right. It could possibly evolve, given how we've evolved from 1970 till now. That's like what, 50 years of since the first Star Wars movie, almost. And we've come such a long way with CGI and stuff. I feel like we can definitely get to a point
way better. In like 30 years from now, I'm sure.
Oh yeah. We'll get to a point where we can CGI people who've been dead for 60, 70 years at that point.
But for right now, maybe don't do it.
Yeah, right now we need to stick to what we can do.
Mm-hmm. Because it gets distracting.
Yeah.
And it takes you out of
and
the
you can
movie.
tell.
It took me out.
And it doesn't feel real at that point anymore.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So, okay. Rogue One, I feel like we covered that pretty well.
Yeah, Rogue One is my 4, your 5.
Yes.
What would you say your 4
my
is?
4 is probably
3?
it's up. Yeah, it's up.
3? I think we should leave it at that for now.
Yeah, because I know
when we talk about it on when it's on mine, we can explain our placements.
Okay.
My third spot is going to go to 6.
I really like 6.
I do like 6, but
probably one of the most watchable Star Wars movies.
You gotta say 5 is better. 5 is definitely better than 6.
Yeah, I totally agree that 5 is better. But I think 6 is the most like it's one of the ones I always come back to. Like it's just really watchable to me.
It is a really it has a lot of replay value, and it's just it's good. It's good.
It's a fun action adventure movie.
Yeah. And it does a good job of tying off the saga, the series.
Yeah. The lightsaber battle between Luke and Vader in 6 on the Death Star is actually really well done, I think.
Look, the fights in 5 and 6 are the biggest upgrades of all time from 4.
That is true.
It's almost impossible to think that they came from the same time.
I would agree with that. I mean, look, 6 is really well choreographed. The way they film it, how it's sort of dark and you can sense the emotional struggle that Vader and Luke are having. I think it's really well done. And, 6 it starts like Luke in 6 is.
He is just a goat. He is goatified.
He is. The evolution of his character from 4 to 6 is just ridiculous.
Right.
I love his look. He has the all black on. He looks great. And look, I mean, there are so many cool like designs. Like Jabba looks crazy. Boba Fett is actually trash.
I need to see more of him. They did him dirty in that movie.
They did. Well, look, Boba Fett has never really done anything. He's never done anything.
He hasn't.
And so many people have been so obsessed with
It's because in the books and comics that people have made about him, he's just so fire.
It's because he looks cool.
He's dripped out. He is dripped out.
It would be great if they could make use of his character, but they killed him off. So obviously he'll come back. He's
not dead. I don't think he's dead.
Of course not. For a character that's so popular among fans, you gotta find a way to just make him come out of that Sarlacc pit. But Boba Fett, where? But 6 is really fun. I enjoy the hell out of it as a Star Wars movie and as an action adventure movie. And I think it's a great cap off to the series. And I wish it would have stayed the cap.
It should have been the cap. It should have been the cap.
Yes. So we already went over 4, and 4 is the third place on mine, and 6 is the second place on mine.
6 is third for me. 5 is number 2.
That is just it is a
travesty in so many people's eyes, but it
is a travesty in mine particularly.
And I'll let you all know why 3 is my number 1. But let's talk about 5 real quick, because I believe that's your number 1, right?
It is not just my number 1. It is one of my favorite movies of all time. 5 is
probably the most iconic Star Wars movie of all time.
It does everything right. There is not one thing Episode 5 does wrong. It is a perfect sequel in so many ways. And
definitely one of the best sequels that we've ever seen from a movie ever.
I think it's probably the best. I can't think of a sequel that has done better than Episode 5. And look, I know this is a mainstream movie.
Attack of the Clones.
Whatever. Shut up. But it's one of my favorites, and it will always be one of my favorites. It's the one I probably like the most. The Battle of Hoth is great.
It looked amazing, actually.
And for the 80s, it still holds up as a really good action sequence.
For its time, it looked really good.
But one of my favorite things in Episode 5 is how they build Han and Leia's relationship, because it's so
they did a good job of doing that.
It's great, and they don't force anything. It feels very natural, and you can tell Harrison Ford and Carrie Fisher just have great chemistry together.
Right.
It wasn't known till later, but they sort of kind of had an affair on the Star Wars set, which makes it even better because
they had real life chemistry.
Right. So look, Luke's doing his own thing. He goes to the Dagobah system, meets Yoda. I love Yoda in Episode 5. Definitely my favorite Yoda.
He's
and you're introduced to Lando. Cloud City looks great. Lando is dripped out.
Honestly, Cloud City after the remaster looks great.
Yes, I agree that Cloud City, they opened it up a little bit more, and it makes it feel more like a Cloud City.
Right.
So
it felt so enclosed in like the original cut.
About the remastered versions of Star Wars, but that is one thing.
I think Episode 5 was probably the best remastered one.
Yeah, because they barely touched 5. They just they added a couple of little things here and there. But Cloud City looks great. The sort of final battle between Vader and Luke is really well done.
It was good. Gave us that classic line. You know, I am your father.
Yes, it's such an obvious twist now, but I would love to see someone's reaction who has never seen Star Wars before and just what they think of that. Because when that came out in the 80s, just think of how.
Yeah, it was just crazy. I mean, because they didn't have a lot of shit like that.
No, and also movies. They didn't have the prequels either, so it was just who is this?
And I feel like that introduced twists like that into movies and TV and stuff.
There was certainly an uprising of twists in movies.
Sometimes too much and not needed.
Yeah, some movies just put in twists to have twists. Because just for the sake of having something interesting in the movie, just make a good movie.
On God. And I think we went over that last week when we talked about Tenet.
And I feel like we're gonna hit on that on every podcast.
Yeah. Because, it's just something that needs to be said.
It's just a fundamental law.
Let them know.
Just make a good movie. Doesn't need to add any. You don't need to add something that doesn't fit.
Let them
but
know.
yeah, look,
Two
I love
18-year-old kids from Columbus are telling y'all how to do your jobs. Do it right.
I love episode 5, and yeah,
It's great. It's a great movie. It's number 2. On to my number 1 and your number 4.
4.
Your number 4, episode 3. What a movie. So inspirational. I did not think there was a lot wrong with 3. It's definitely the best out of the prequels, the best out of every Star Wars movie, in my opinion. Clearly.
Yeah.
Because, look, it looks phenomenal.
Holy shit. We did not include episode 7. We just totally forgot episode 7.
Did we? How the hell did we get to 9 movies then if we didn't place episode 7? What the hell?
Because of Rogue One.
Oh, yeah, there's 10. There's 10.
Oh my god.
Oh, well, shift everything from Rogue One on down 1, and then insert 7 at number 5. For me.
Well, I like 7 more than 3. So 7 is 4.
7. What was my Huh? My number 5 was 4. So, oh yeah, I'll put 7 over 4. It is 4, but remade, 4. Mastered, and better.
Mine is number 4 as well.
7 is number 5 for me. I will still say Rogue One is better than 7.
It's a toss-up, but I do enjoy 7 more.
Okay. Now that we got that straight away, let me talk about why. Actually, first. Let's discuss 7. We can
touch 7 a little bit.
Touch 7. I think it was just 4 remastered. To be honest,
7 was, a lot of people don't understand, it is a light reboot for Star Wars so that a new generation of people could watch it and sort of have this new take. Look, yes, that is true. It just is. I'm not going to argue that, but I think what it does do is, at the time, it introduces some really great characters. Finn and Rey are really well in 7. And it captures the feeling of Star Wars.
I think it set up something good to happen.
Yes, it did. It was the perfect setup for a really good trilogy. They introduce Snoke, they introduce all these new things, and it's like, I'm really interested to see where this goes. And they sort of fumbled it. And because they didn't have a plan. Disney did not have a plan for this new trilogy.
They did not.
Very obvious. But
I mean, they skipped around directors.
7, I think the heart of 7 is Harrison Ford, because he shows up.
He did show up for this movie.
He has the heart of Han Solo in this, and he actually looks like he's having fun with his role. And
the thing is, Harrison Ford doesn't like Star Wars at all.
He doesn't like Han Solo. He wanted Han Solo to die in episode 6. So for him to come back and really give it something. They
probably said, "Oh, you're gonna die. It's fine. Come back. You'll die."
Right, and I think that's why he wanted to do it. But it meant a lot to Star Wars fans to see him really pull through and give this character justice one last time. And Adam Driver is really cool. They just introduced so many cool ideas, and it's really fun to watch. Like it's one of the most watchable Star Wars movies in my opinion, because it really has that feeling, and it's really a fun movie. So.
Yeah. Well, that's why I do put it over 4, because it is just 4 rebooted, remastered with, obviously this newer technology. And honestly, Adam Driver is just really good. No?
He's great. He's just the best.
It's fantastic. But that leads us to number 1. Finally, jumping from number 5 to number 1.
Your number 1.
My number 1, your number 4. Or 3. 4? 5? What is it now?
It is 5 because I put 7 over it.
Okay. I love this movie. Growing up, I would only watch episode 3 over and over again.
Yes, I know. We watched episode many times as children.
I don't even know how many times I've watched that movie, recreated that movie, done everything. Back in the day, I could recite every single line from that movie. I know you could.
I am positive that is
And Ewan McGregor just looked perfect in this movie. as Obi-Wan.
Ewan McGregor is great.
Hayden
Obi-Wan.
Christensen did a great job being Anakin in this movie.
He
I
is
can't
the
even
best.
lie.
He's the best he could have been.
Yeah. I think out of
he annoys me the least in this movie. I will say that.
He did so much better in this movie than he did in 2. And I love that. I think the emotion he brings in the end of the movie is just a fantastic turn for the character.
Cheesy. I think it's a little cheesy.
I think it does a good job of representing his descent.
I just don't love that this is the guy. This is Darth Vader. Like, this is the guy who was Darth Vader. I don't buy it that much.
It is a weird jump from 3 to 4 because he seems like a completely different person.
Exactly.
But they do build up the fact that Darth Vader is just this rage-filled character who is just completely cold and heartless, has no remorse for human life or any life, matter of fact. Well, and I feel like they did a good job of conveying that rage in this movie. And
I agree.
It makes you think, like, what if he didn't get his shit rocked by Obi-Wan? Like, what if he could just continue doing his Darth Vader thing as this Anakin? You know?
Mm-hmm.
He's just insane. He's insane.
Because he's OP in
so OP. Oh yeah, so, Battlefront 2 OP as hell.
Yeah, but I agree with that to an extent. I think he is the best in this movie. He still annoys me. I can't get myself to love that character at all. But I think there is something to be said for it is a significant turnaround for the trilogy, because it is, for what it is, it's worth watching. If I could, I'd just watch that and then watch the original trilogy as part of the saga, because I don't really necessarily enjoy the first two. But what I will say for the prequels is it does still feel like Star Wars, and that's something you can't say about the new trilogy, barring
outside of 7 feeling like it, only because it's like a 4 remake, you know. But even with that, it still captures that Star Wars.
It has the heart of Star Wars in 7.
Yeah.
8 and 9, it feels like it's
just lost. It
feels like a Disney executive is just saying, "Okay, we got to get the Star Wars movie out."
Right. And do some Star Warsy things. Like,
well, it does Star Warsy things. That wasn't the problem. The problem is there wasn't someone with passion behind the writing and someone that really cared for these characters. It felt like a CEO saying, "Here's your new Star Wars."
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It feels very like corporate produced, if that makes any sense.
It absolutely does. And Star Wars originally is just this really creative thought that a guy had, and it turned into something way bigger than he probably ever imagined. It's one of this and Marvel are like the two biggest things right now.
Right.
And Disney has both of them. And I think Star Wars is doing a little better now. Like, they just did The Mandalorian.
That show is fantastic, by the way.
They announced the Obi-Wan spinoff show, which we are very excited for.
I am very excited to see Ewan McGregor back.
Yes. And so it looks like they're sort of focusing on more of these smaller stories and maybe building up to another movie franchise. But, I think Disney has sort of taken a step back and been like, okay, maybe we'll just wait a little bit, make the people want Star Wars again.
Right.
Because they were, you could see they wanted to do 2 Star Wars movies a year, just pumping them out, just like Marvel's doing.
Yeah, and it's just not how it works.
But that's just not how Star Wars works. Because Star Wars, if people forget that, sometimes it'll go on like a 20-year hiatus.
Yeah, it did. It did go on a 20-year hiatus.
It makes you excited again, because it's like, oh, wow.
Like, what year did 7 come out?
7 came out 2015. It was 2015, because I remember we all saw it together for the first time. after we were in like 8th grade, I think, when we saw
Right.
7. So
And here we are 5 years later. Actually, 4 years later, they concluded the series.
yes.
So there's only a 4-year space in between the 3 movies.
Yeah.
And the other trilogies looked like what? Like, what did it look like?
The original trilogy was spaced out, like there was a movie maybe once every 2 years.
2 years.
So it was like a 6-year sort of deal.
Right. And then the one came out 99, 98, I want to say.
Yeah, so it was late 90s. And
I know 3
it
came
went
out
from late
in
90s to
2005, 6.
Yeah, probably.
When did that? I could really just research right now.
They were definitely more spaced out, is our point.
Yeah.
But yeah,
2005.
I mean, yeah.
So it's like I think they rushed this new trilogy.
Oh yeah, and the problem is it's okay if you want different directors, because the original trilogy did that. But you need to have one clear vision of like, this is what's happening, and we're not going to stray from that too much. And they didn't have they opened up all these new possibilities in 7, and then they said, okay, so let's write the script for 8 instead of having everything planned out for this trilogy.
Yeah, they went movie by movie, which is not the way to do it.
Because what are you trying to get from this? What is the main sort of lesson learned from this new trilogy? What is the?
I have no idea. Well, I feel like they didn't even cap it off with 9. You know, it didn't feel like it came to a conclusion.
Like a bunch of stuff sort of happened, and then it's like, I'm on a sand planet, and someone called me Skywalker, and that's how it ends. Like it didn't feel like a real ending. So yeah, I mean, 9 was a disappointment. We are not huge fans of the Disney trilogy.
I'm just about to shed a tear thinking about it. I think we got to move on. I just can't talk about this new trilogy
anymore.
A while
on Star Wars.
Yeah, we're sitting at 1 hour and 11 minutes right now, almost 12.
Oh wow. Okay.
It doesn't even feel like that. We do gotta review TPAB.
We can do this for hours.
Of course. We do gotta review TPAB. So yeah, I got the track list pulled up on my phone right here in front of me. I don't know about you. Do we want to rank this? I don't really want to rank the songs.
No, we don't have to.
There's 16 songs. I'm not going to talk about 16 different songs individually. No. Especially given like I don't even listen to every song on this album. I mean, they're all there. I don't think there's a bad song on this album, to be honest.
No. I mean, this album is one of the best albums of this decade.
Yeah, definitely. You know? How about we give our top 3 songs?
Okay, yeah.
For the album. Top 3 for me personally. The Blacker the Berry.
Great song.
Complexion.
Yeah.
And King Kunta. Now, I'll tell you why I didn't say Wesley's Theory. It's because I do believe Wesley's Theory is a great song, but King Kunta is a bop.
Oh yeah. Oh, it's one of the classic Kendrick. Just,
I would sing it if I wouldn't get copyright struck, but that song is just a
will be
bop.
within you. Hopefully we don't get copyright struck. For me, I have to say, damn. I mean, I love Wesley's Theory, so that'll probably be my top 3. In no particular order. I do. Man, I love These Walls. I gotta go. These Walls.
Oh my god, I love that song.
It's so groovy.
That is definitely top 5. Wesley's Theory and These Walls are like 4 and 5, or they would be like placeholders 4 and 5. There's no exact order for these because I just can't rank the songs over one another. They're just so good.
I'm not gonna. And also, I really like You.
Yeah.
Probably 3 for me because it's so crazy. You can sense his madness in that song. But man, this album's genius.
It's just great.
And especially like a time like this, go and listen to this fucking.
Got the radio hit. All right, we gonna be all right.
All right, yeah. I mean, like there are some like radio hits, I guess you could say, but they don't feel like it. Like
they fit in.
Out by these.
Everything on this album fits in its place.
Yes, I would agree.
It's just it flows so beautifully.
Mm-hmm. And well, look, one thing I will say is like me and you, we don't always agree on music.
Right.
We do have different taste, but we do have certain albums that we
can just come together and just enjoy it.
We can really appreciate. And this is just one I feel like anyone should be able to at least appreciate.
Yeah.
Because, the messages in here, it's still, very relevant. I think now is a better time than any to listen to this album.
Right. Definitely.
There's some really great things in here. So
it's very relevant right now.
It's a 10 out of 10. I think it's flawless.
10 out of 10. 10 out of 10 album, of course.
Yeah, I mean Kendrick is.
Oh, we said we weren't gonna do that. But it is 10 out of 10. It is a 10 out of 10. It is a 10 out of 10 in my opinion.
We can make an exception.
You can make your own thesis of this album, but to us, it is a perfect 10.
It really is. I mean, it's flawless, man.
It is 16 for 16.
Because you said, do you still like Good Kid more than this album?
Okay. I cannot say that Good Kid as a whole is a better album than this, but I do enjoy Good Kid a lot more. I feel like, because like these songs, it's hard to describe, but this is an album that you need to listen to, like if you were gonna read a book or like watch a TV series.
That's a good point. You have to focus on what he's talking.
There's music that you can have playing constantly on repeat, listening to and loving, and then there are some that you just have to sit and pay attention to what he's saying and actually listen to the message to understand why it's so good. And
and that it almost it excels the song into something even better.
Right. And it's like the difference between like binging a TV show like Game of Thrones or Breaking Bad or something to that compared to watching something that you just enjoy. Like I like American Dad. I watched that. The Office, American Dad, Friends, if you're into that. I'm not, but if you're into that, it's like those type of shows that you just watch because you enjoy watching them, and you can set it on in the background. You can set it on while you're going to sleep. Yeah, just something to unwind.
Yeah. And then there are shows that you have to actually focus on to keep with the story that's happening. Right. And that's a really good analogy.
Yeah, that's like Good Kid. Good Kid is like my American Dad, and To Pimp a Butterfly is like my Breaking Bad or Game of Thrones or something like that.
Although I do think
I can't actually think of a series off the top of my head
that you still need to pay attention to.
Oh yeah, definitely.
But I do get there are some more sort of just like
there are just a lot more bops in.
Yeah, I can agree with that.
Good Kid.
Sure.
It's just a lot of vibes too.
You go to Good Kid more, and you get more sort of just enjoyment out of it. It's sort of like rewatchability. It's you listen to it more. I understand. I do prefer T-Pab. I really do. But I mean, obviously, Good Kid is great too. He doesn't have a bad album. I think that's
Damn.
I like Damn.
It's good, but I think it's his worst. It is his worst.
I don't think it's his worst. I think
even out of some of the mixtapes I've heard from him. Untitled Unmastered is fantastic.
I would put Damn over it though.
I don't think I would.
I like Untitled Unmastered, but that's probably
Section 80. That's over Damn.
I'd put Damn over Section 80.
I think I could say Damn is over Overly Dedicated, but
yeah, although Overly Dedicated is actually
it is really good,
enjoyable.
Yeah, it's a really good mixtape.
Probably his worst though, just because
it's his first. It's his first and it's his worst.
Yeah, but it's still good. Because it's Kendrick, man. I mean, Kendrick's only gonna put something out if he feels like it's meant to be put out,
Right.
and it's something that is true quality. And look, man, I hope we get an album soon from him.
Yeah.
But honestly, take your
I
time.
hope we get an album. Period. You know, it's been a drought.
Yeah, but also, take your time because I think that's what he does. He takes his time and he makes something that is really worth making. So, I'm excited to see where he goes because I think he could really do anything from here because he's done like as a rapper. I mean, I feel like he's going to get to a point where he's going to get a little more experimental and try to do something different. So,
oh yeah, I can't wait to hear
for it, and I'm here for
future of Kendrick Lamar. He has already got his GOAT status.
Oh yeah, I mean he's going to go down as one of the best and most
he's on. I think he's on like Lil Wayne.
Oh yeah, I mean he's already there.
Yeah, he's there already.
He's done everything. He's done so many great things, just for the culture. He's just he's a great artist, and I can't wait to see what he does next because I think he's a really important artist too.
Oh,
so,
of course.
I really hope we get more stuff from him.
Right.
So he's an artist and a rapper who really has meaning to what he's doing. And, and that's something I always really appreciate.
He's using his influence the correct way.
Yes.
And I mean we all love our drugs and murder songs, respectively. But Kendrick, he uses his influence to promote meaning, like not just killing everybody and smoking a lot of weed. Like trust me, some of my biggest, like my favorite playlists have all those trap songs and stuff. Like
I'm not as big on trap as you, but I still do enjoy it.
Yeah, it's just good to listen to. It's easy.
It's like one of those TV shows.
Yeah, it's like American Dad for me. My drive into the booty playlist.
Okay, maybe these analogies are getting a little weird, but still, I think it's like a good point of like just there's a difference between.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean one is over the other. It's just one has a different purpose. Right. And it's just really what are you in the mood for? Really.
It's all based on what you're feeling that day.
Yeah. But To Pimp a Butterfly, it's a great album. I mean, what else can we say?
It's probably top one album of all time for me.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's one of the best albums that has come out the last 10, 20 years. So,
right.
And that's a big pedestal to put on.
Definitely. Especially compared to some of the stuff that's come out in recent years.
Think he's really deserved that, though.
Yeah,
so,
definitely.
Yeah, it's always fun revisiting this album. I always really enjoy it. And,
I'm glad we got to review it for one of our first episodes.
Yeah, because I'm glad this is because we didn't really touch on music a whole lot last episode, and I'm really glad this was like the first thing we did because it's really it deserves so much praise, and we both really appreciate it. I think so. I'm glad this is our first sort of deep dive into an album. Right.
Well, I believe we've covered all the topics that we needed to for today, and we're running about on time. Minute 23, or not a minute, hour 23 minutes.
Well, look, there is a little piece of news about the new Batman movie. Oh. Robert Pattinson got COVID-19.
Oh, so yeah, he did.
They are, obviously not filming right now, and that might get pushed back. So that sucks. Right. But yeah, that's just a little update on that because we talked about that last week.
This COVID stuff is serious, man.
It really isn't.
Wear your fucking masks.
Wear your masks, please,
and stay 6 feet away from people.
I mean, look, this has been going on long enough. If you don't bring your mask, that's like forgetting your phone. Just don't be an asshole, man. Like, just wear a mask.
And don't do that. Don't do that mask under the nose type deal. You can breathe. You can breathe.
The whole point of a mask.
If I can breathe, you can breathe. Okay.
Well, what about someone who has, breathing disabilities? What do you say to them?
Suck it up. Suck it up. Get your inhaler.
Yeah.
Or don't go out. Don't go out. If you that actually brings up a good point, Kayden. If you have those troubles, you should not be going out. This virus can kill you if you get that.
Exactly.
So stay your ass at home in your seat if you have a breathing disability.
I have asthma, but
I know you be going out. You be
life
getting
to the
turned at the club.
There are no clubs in Reynoldsburg.
We could go to Rachel's. Isn't that closed? You ought to strip for them.
Shut up. You are. I don't know why you're such an advocate.
You. Why I'm such an advocate for seeing you naked? I don't know.
Yeah, you bring it up a lot. But
maybe we'll have to discuss.
I guess we can close this off with recommendations.
Yeah. Definitely got to recommend my Driving to the Booty playlist. I might link it in the bio. It's just all hits. It's just all hits.
That is an interesting name. I wish I have such a hard time coming up with names for my playlists. Like
I just be saying some stupid stuff for all my playlists.
I want it to sound cool, but I can't. Like I need to find some more stuff.
I got rock songs to Crip Walk to, Booty Bouncers.
Your dialect is just
Driving to the Booty.
I wish I could speak it.
I mean, I do have GTA Car Ride. It's a bunch of songs I felt like would be good in the car.
Going on a drive to clear my mind. Yeah. Yeah. But so you're recommending that playlist?
I recommend my playlist. If you're listen. I know this is not for everyone, but if you're looking to laugh and have a good time and appreciate some comedy bars, go listen to Fire in the Booth Part 1 with Unknown P on Charlie Slott's YouTube channel. It's also on Apple Music and Spotify, I believe.
Is that the dude who goes, "You look like a seal"?
Yes, he said, "You look like a seal."
Mm-hmm. That is.
Thank Jehovah for protecting us from the ops friend of the day.
It's the dumbest thing I've ever seen, but it is
funny. It is so funny.
I don't get how, but it is. It just is.
If you're a music head and you like comedy music to give you a laugh sometimes, go peep it out. It's interesting, to say the least.
It is.
Emergency alert! Why the fuck I got the tornado warning going on?
Yeah, I hear that too.
In the middle of my podcast, come on now. But on a more serious note, album I'd recommend, of course, what's it called? I'll go ahead and request. What am I saying? Man on the Moon by Kid Cudi.
By Kid Cudi?
What an album! Yes.
One of my favorites.
Great album.
Love Kid Cudi. Yes.
Enjoyable album. And also, actually looking through my albums right here to find something that I can recommend. Why don't you go real quick?
Reviewed that. I love Kid Cudi.
We could have. We didn't though. This time.
We didn't. Not this time.
Yeah.
All right. Anything else?
I could recommend a movie. Devil's Advocate, Keanu Reeves and Al Pacino.
We were watching that last night, and I fell asleep.
Yeah, you fell asleep. Unfortunately, you missed like the most crazy parts of that movie. I'm not gonna spoil anything for anybody. Yeah, but that movie took a whole different direction. Than it was looking like.
I would have, because it wasn't bad. Like I just got really tired. It was like 2 a.m. when we were watching this, and I was like really tired.
For the first half of the movie, it made me think it was one thing, and then I'm just leave it at that. I'll just leave it at that. The Devil's Advocate on Netflix right now. Go peep that out. It's a great movie.
A movie from like the 90s.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I'm recommending this now in 2020, but it don't matter. It don't matter. Go watch it now.
Yeah. I'm not gonna recommend it because I haven't seen the whole thing, but from what I saw, it was interesting.
Yeah.
But obviously, I feel like I just need to watch the rest.
Yeah, you need to watch the rest.
It is certainly a different look for Keanu. The funniest part of that was at the beginning of the movie, I was like, oh my gosh, Keanu looks different or something. and no one said anything. And then you later on watching the movie about 30 minutes later said, "Oh my gosh, Keanu looks different," and we had like a whole conversation about it. And I was like, "Yeah." So I like literally just said that, and nobody said anything.
I mean, didn't I respond to that? I said, like, he looks good. He looks good.
He looks all right. I like his John Wick look more.
I do like his John Wick look, but I think this is like he's like a nice, clean cut young man in this movie.
Yeah, I mean, he doesn't look bad. I mean, it's Keanu Reeves. I mean, when does he look bad? But yeah. I guess for me, my recommendations. Let's see. I guess I still haven't listened to that new Logic album. I said I was going to, but I didn't.
You should. You definitely.
It's not really even new anymore. It came out like so early in the year.
Yeah, it came out a while ago. My voice.
I guess an album that I would recommend would be damn, what have I really been listening to? I feel like I haven't really listened to a lot this week.
I've been listening to a lot of like playlists and stuff, so that's why I'm having a hard time coming up with albums to recommend, because it's like I haven't listened to a lot of albums in full.
Well, I was listening to Igor a lot this week by Tyler.
Igor, excellent album.
I would recommend Igor. Maybe we can rank his discog one week. That'd be fun.
Rank his
because that's an interesting discography.
Yes, sir.
But yeah, I love me some Igor. I love the song Gone Gone / Thank You. That's one that I listen to a lot. But I guess a movie I would recommend is, well, Alex, I don't know if you know this, but I am a film major.
Oh, are you?
Oh boy, we watch movies. I don't know if you knew this, but film majors, we watch movies. And
I don't see the correlation.
A movie that I watched recently was I did watch a movie called Arrival. I rewatched it. We watched that together a while ago. That I've just always really enjoyed it. It's a really good sci-fi type of movie.
Oh, of course.
The filmmaker Denis Villeneuve is amazing. He also directed Enemy, a movie that the both of us.
Fantastic movie.
Great movie.
I believe I need to watch it.
Maybe we could do that some week.
Yeah, I need to watch it when I'm, let's just say, conscious.
Yeah. But yeah, he's a great filmmaker. He's Denis Villeneuve is also directing the new movie Dune that is coming out soon, that we saw before.
That looked pretty interesting. The trailer.
I think it's gonna be really good. I saw someone describe it as like an adult version of Star Wars, like just like a grown up sort of Star Wars. But I think that'll be really good. It's one of my most anticipated.
Didn't that movie have that one guy that y'all just be going crazy for?
Timothy Chalamet? Yes. Did I am madly in love with Timothy Chalamet.
I seen him and I was like, you and Maggie and them always be going crazy for that man.
I know, because he's really hot. But yeah, I would definitely recommend me some Timothy Chalamet, and I would also but recommend Arrival. It's a great movie. But also I do want to say, we got some good feedback from a couple people about our first episode of our podcast, so we just want to thank the people who do listen. Hopefully we can
thank you all.
Gain a little bit more. A couple people, Logan gave us some good advice. Maggie's brother Loudon Fuller, he said that he listened to like almost the whole thing, and he said we actually did a pretty good job. And,
shout out to Loudon.
Shout out Loudon, man. Thank you very much. That meant a lot. And I had a lot of fun talking about what we talked about today. Maybe next week we can find some things that are a little more current with the times, because I feel like Star Wars and Uncut Gems, they aren't really connected with what.
There's not a whole lot to be to talk about other than the NBA,
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, look, man, we'll sort of maybe interact with more people the more bigger we get to see what you guys want from us. But this is what we like talking about.
If you watch this and you don't tell us personally, leave something in the comments. Give us suggestions on stuff we could do differently, or anything like that.
Really, we are into a lot of different things, so I mean, we can cover plenty.
Oh
of
yeah.
topics. But
And,
we love our movies, we love our music, and we love
yes,
our
sir.
sports. So yeah,
very, very well said.
yes.
I've actually been looking at my audio monitor this entire time, and I am just praying to God. I don't even believe. I'm just praying to God that my mic was not too loud. If it was, that sucks. That just sucks. But
We're not doing another hour and a half.
I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it again. I'm not doing it again. So y'all can
No.
suffer. Y'all can suffer. Turn it down. But yeah. But anyways, I think that wraps everything up. We got our recommendations, and leave us anything in the comment that you want us to look over or review or anything. Talk about.
Because look, whether people are listening to this or not, we're just gonna keep doing it.
Yeah, we're not stopping.
No, we have a lot of fun here, and we hope you guys do too. So.
It's a great time. So hope y'all enjoyed, and we'll see y'all next week with another topic that we still have yet to discuss.
Can't wait. We'll probably discuss maybe a day ahead of time.
Oh yeah, and record it the next day with no plan whatsoever.
Nope.
Also,
we live life on the edge, man. Live life to the fullest.
Yes, sir. And make sure you check out the last episode we had. We reviewed Tenet, talked a little bit about the NBA, even though we knew absolutely nothing that was going on, really.
You really did not.
I've been buckling down, though. Since that episode, it made me realize, I need to buckle down. I need to get myself into the NBA.
Get with the times.
Get with the times if I'm going to be talking about it. So, yeah, go check that out. It was nice.
Hopefully this one's better. I don't know if it is yet.
I took out the music. I feel like the music was a little too distracting last time.
Yeah, maybe it was.
But anyways,
it could mellow, but
mellow, yeah. It created a mellow vibe, but Anyways, that's been our episode. I've been dragging this out for about 10 minutes now, so I'm gonna go ahead and wrap it up. Have a good night, everyone.
We'll see you guys next week.
See ya.